Hello, and welcome to Horror Movies and Shit. I'm your host, Jim, and with me as always is...
Merry Marksmas to one and all.
It's Mary Marksmith. How are you, sir?
So Jim, you have to get this recording out before Christmas, right? So you're on a deadline for this one.
Mm-hmm. I am. I will be editing one episode tonight and hopefully getting it released after we're done recording.
I mean, nobody can ask for a better Christmas gift than to listen to us two fucking talk about Christmas horror movies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Christmas horror movies is the shit. So the reason that I wanted us to talk about Christmas horror, Mark, is this week I had the absolute pleasure of watching There's Something in the Barn. Have you seen it?
Nope, never heard of it.
This is a story about a family that moves to Norway. It's the father, his family comes from Norway, and the uncle that owned the farm before died, so they decide they needed a change from living in New York. They move out to Norway. They're going to turn it into a bed and breakfast. Well, the young boy discovers a barn elf living in their barn, as they often do.
That's why it's called a barn elf.
Right.
Right.
And there are 3 rules to living with a barn elf.
Well, duh.
Right. Do you know what they are, Mark? Do you know how to keep the barn elf happy?
Yes.
Please tell me. Enlighten us.
Okay, so rule number 1 is you must download and listen to Horror Movies and Shit.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Number 2, you must keep a barn.
Okay, yes.
And number 3, feed the elves.
No.
Oh, okay.
So it's no bright artificial light.
But can they have bright sunlight?
They don't come out during the day. Generally.
So no bright light at all.
Right. I mean, they specifically mentioned bright artificial light. No loud noises. And no change.
No change?
You cannot change a thing about the property. If you keep them happy by following the rules, they will continue to help you and be good to you. But if you break them, can you guess what happens?
They kill you.
Pretty much.
So, I mean, not changing the barn, I mean, that's kind of a loosey-goosey one, right?
No, it's not a loosey-goosey one.
So if, like, the top of the barn comes off and you fix it?
I mean, I didn't get into the specifics. It doesn't get that down and dirty. I took it to mean that the entire farm could not be changed. So if you're replacing a roof, that's one thing. But if you're demoing a house and rebuilding a house, that's a big no-no.
So then we get into the ship of Theseus, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I mean, how much of the original thing needs to stay to make it original?
Right. So, anyway, is that this movie gives me serious Critter vibes. It is a fun, just little monster movie, and like down to the rubber mask that the elves are wearing, because it's very obvious when they do their little chitter chatter thing that their mouths are not moving and the whole mask is just moving on their face.
It almost sounds more like a Gremlins one with those rules.
Kinda. But it's fun. I really enjoyed it. I don't know how else to explain it. It was I really liked it. It was a little slow to get started, but once it got started, it really went. It was fun.
Huh. Yeah, I actually watched a couple of Christmas movies, also Christmas horror movies. I think they're on this list, so...
Okay. Well, let's get started then. So we have...
No, let's not get started yet.
Okay.
So, Jim.
Yeah.
What makes a Christmas horror movie or a Christmas movie to you?
It has to take place during the Christmas season. That's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
So even if there's no reference to Christmas per se in it, as long as it's shot around that time, it's a Christmas movie?
Not shot around the time. It has to take place during that time. So like chronologically, the film has to be set during the Christmas Christmas holiday.
No, I don't mean the actual filming of it. That would be weird.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I assumed you meant when you said shot around that time.
That seems a little strange. Okay, so Die Hard's a Christmas movie, right?
Absolutely.
There's other ones I was thinking about where people are like, "Oh, is that a Christmas movie?" If that's a Christmas movie, but I can't remember them right now. Anyway, um, we will just go through. Which list are we doing?
We are doing the 45 Christmas horror movies ranked from Rotten Tomatoes.
And again, I'll say it again. There seems to be so many more Christmas horror movies and Halloween-based horror movies.
Correct.
It's funny. Even whenever you go into like Shudder now or Amazon Prime, you go to horror movies. It's like the first 20 are like Christmas horror movies now.
Yep, agreed.
So
okay, so let's start with number 45, Mark, shall we?
Okay. Okay.
So we are at 1989, and the movie is Elves. A department store Santa Claus, Dan Haggerty, discovers a neo-Nazi plot to mate nice girl Julie Austin with an elf in Colorado.
Yeah, what do you think of Elves?
I have not seen it, but it sounds like it'd be right up my alley.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Okay. Well, it's got a zero score on Rotten Tomatoes, so
that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. So number 4.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because I know there's another terrible, at least one terrible movie which I love on here, and we'll see what the score is.
Oh, okay. So the next movie's also got a 0 rating. You want to tell us what it is?
It is 1983's The Dorm That Dripped Blood.
Yep, it is. A crazed killer stalks college students Lori Lipinski, Stephen Sachs, and David Snow, who give up their vacation to clean a deserted dormitory. What did you think?
Not seen it.
Me either.
Yeah,
so we've seen a few of them, but we've not seen any of these, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, the next one I know about, but I haven't seen, but it's just the premise just sounds dumb.
Let's start with the Rotten Tomatoes score. What is the score, Mark?
12.
Right, 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. And the synopsis is: a murderous assailant traps 3 people, Alice Eve, Josh Peck, and Brian Garrity, in a small kiosk containing an automatic teller machine. I don't see the horror.
So they're kind of...
So the movie's... Let's start. The movie's called ATM.
Yeah.
Those that don't know.
So it's basically there's a killer that's outside, and they're stuck in this ATM kind of little building.
Oh, that's right up your alley, isn't it?
No. I do like Stuck in One Place, but not that thing, because... And I haven't seen it, so maybe it's awesome. But I just know from just knowing stuff, it's like they park, like whenever they're going there, so far away from the ATM thing, and there's nobody else there. Like, why would you even do that? So even in that just annoys me. So I haven't seen it.
Well, that's fair. Okay. Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't have an opinion one way or the other. So let's go on to number 42. It has a 14% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Now there are several of this movie, so we'll start off by saying this is the 2006 version with Katie Cassidy, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Lacey Chabert and Michelle Trachtenberg. It is 2006 Oh my god, I can't fucking talk. 2006's Black Christmas.
Yeah, the first remake.
I've not seen the 2006 version, nor have I seen the most recent remake.
Yeah, the most recent one, by all accounts, is absolutely god-awful.
Yep.
This one, I remember thinking it was okay. I don't really remember it. I get this one and like the House of Wax remake mixed up in my head sometimes, because it's got that same sort of early 2000s remake slasher thing going on. But I remember thinking, it's all right.
Yeah, okay.
You only get the in-depth views here on horror movies and shit.
That's right.
We really break stuff down for you.
So this one, I will say, is legitimately probably terrible for most people, but I fucking love this movie. It's number 41 on our list. It's got a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it is?
It is not the Michael Keaton movie, Jack Frost.
Yep, it is about a serial killer snowman. I fucking love this movie. It's so ridiculous. So incredibly ridiculous. right? It could not be any more stupid. It's right up there with Ginger Dead Man. I mean, it's so terrible, but I love it for all of its ridiculousness.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean,
it fully engages in that ridiculousness, and it just owns it, every bit of it. Because come on, a fucking killer snowman? The only thing you need is a hairdryer.
Yeah, and again, this falls very firmly in the kind of full moon type pictures that were going on at the time. Well, I think the Sci-Fi Channel was around this when they started getting into their kind of crappy ones.
Right.
But yeah, this is definitely weird, but funny. But also kind of nasty in places.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking about that, this, I believe, was the first movie of which star?
I don't know.
Shannon Elizabeth.
I thought, you know what? She plays the mayor's daughter or something like that. I thought that was her, but I just never really looked it up.
Yeah, she's the one that gets attacked.
Attacked
in the shower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think there's been, 2 or 3 after this?
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but I've never seen them. I've never seen any of them. I only watched the original.
Yeah, and I just go back to that time because I think the other Jack Frost came out around the same time-ish.
I think it was 99, maybe?
And I just wonder how many grandparents went down. Do you have that Jack Frost movie?
Right.
For the kids. So, yeah.
Okay. So next up is number 40. It is a much more recent film.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a 17% score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, and this is the Grinch one.
Yeah, the mean one.
Yeah.
Starring everybody's favorite clown, David Howard Thornton.
Yep.
So we'll read the synopsis real quick. It's one Christmas Eve in a sleepy mountain town, Cindy's family is killed and her Christmas is stolen by a bloodthirsty green grouch in a Santa suit. 20 years later, Cindy returns to town with one goal, trapping and killing the mean one. I have not seen it, but I'll be perfectly honest, I am so over the whole, well, it's in the public domain, let's make it a horror movie shit.
Yeah, so you could almost do an entire episode, but I don't really want to watch any of them.
Right.
The Banana Splits.
I loved the Banana Splits.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This one. Yep. What was the other one that came out recently? But even like Willy's Wonderland, and like there's just a lot of those types of, hey, remember like being a kid? Five Nights at Freddy's, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, but at least that got that was not a small independent film, like everybody else is making.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't care about that as long as it's good.
No, but I mean, these are independent films, but from what I've seen, like with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and the mean one, what I've seen is the production. They embrace being low budget almost to a fault. Like they strive to make it look as bad as possible. There's not we're going to make good film right now. We're just going to make a low budget, shitty looking film and try and make it a big hit like Terrifier.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like a lot of them are, as you say, hey, let's find something public domain, and then let's make some sort of crazy horror movie around it, and then it'll get like a lot of buzz on social media because everybody's like, oh my god, did you hear about what they're doing to Winnie the Pooh or blah 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 blah.
Imagine if the Berenstain Bears ever became public domain.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. How do you pronounce it?
Oh, I never knew. I just know this is one of like the Mandela effect ones.
It is, yeah, because I firmly remember it being Berenstain Bears or Berenstein Bears. I do. I have that memory. I remember having the books, but I can't prove it. So,
okay, so this next one, this is what we're talking about.
Yep.
At 22%. Now, this is an absolute Christmas cracker.
What does that mean, Christmas cracker?
It's really, really good Christmas movie. So in the UK,
I was going to say here in the United States, we don't necessarily describe things as cracker. That's usually a derogatory term.
There's also a double meaning because in the UK and maybe other countries, we have Christmas crackers, which isn't a food.
Oh.
It's like a cardboard tube with two kind of handles, and you sit down and the person next to you in the dinner table, you both take one end of it and pull it, and it makes a snap, and then like a little prize comes out, and it's a Christmas thing, and a joke, and a little.
You people are so fucking weird. Can we get on with the movie?
Hey, I just said it was a Christmas cracker. Okay, so this movie is so good, you don't even have to watch the first one.
And why is that, Mark? There's a reason behind that.
Because like 80% of the movie is flashbacks of the first
right.
one. Interspersed with the amazing Eric Freeman and his wonderful dancing eyebrows. This is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, which is just one of the best, worst movies.
Yeah, agreed. I enjoyed Silent Night, Deadly Night. The first three. I haven't seen anything beyond that.
I've seen them all apart from 4, I think.
Is that the one with Mickey Rooney?
No, I've seen that one.
Okay.
That one's bonkers.
Yeah.
But it's worth watching. It's entertaining. Like the whole thing is just like crazy. Which is funny because Mickey Rooney is one of those people that came out when the first one came out, saying this is terrible. We should never be doing this, and the whole everybody up in arms because it's a killer Santa movie, even though it wasn't the first one. So I don't know.
Right. I mean, the Santa in the first movie rapes and kills. That's what he does, and then that absolutely destroys the little kid in the car. Okay. So next up, I remember watching this movie and really enjoying it, but I don't remember much about it. So we are at number 38. We have a 34% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 2007's P2. So
go ahead.
What? No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, this was one of the ones that I was scrolling past whenever I was looking for something to watch.
Yep.
I noticed that this is Alexandra Aja co-wrote this.
Yep.
But I haven't seen it yet. But I will.
I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I don't know why they're saying it's low on suspense. I thought it was an enjoyable watch. Granted, I've never gone back and watched it to understand if there's things that I probably missed in the first time I watched it, but I liked it.
Okay. Next one is 2008 movie with Craig Sheffer and Kim Basinger.
And Lucas Haas. Let's not forget him.
Don't know who that is.
You'd know him if you saw him. He's like the budget, or the oh my god, what's his name? Elijah Wood. He's like the Aldi version of Elijah Wood.
It's like Craig Sheffer is the good value of, I don't know, Scott Bakula.
Yeah, right.
This is a movie with 38%. While she was out, I have not seen this. So
I haven't seen it either, but I do like Lucas Haas. He was very big in the 80s. He was a great child actor. This is a revenge movie, it looks like, and I would enjoy that kind of movie. I like Kim Basinger.
Yeah, I've never heard of this.
No, me either. Okay, so number 36 is 2020's. Well, it's got a 40% score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 2020's It Cuts Deep. And it says, while on Christmas vacation, a young man with commitment issues tries desperately to hang on to his relationship when a rival enters the picture. This sounds like a giant snore fest. I have no desire to see this at all.
Nope. Never heard of it. Never want to.
Yep. What's up next, Mark?
Oddly enough, the 2018 version of Black Christmas, which has got a 40%, which I am kind of shocked about because, but again, this is Rotten Tomatoes, so who knows?
Right.
I've just heard, like, from people that I kind of generally trust their views on, awful things about this.
Yeah, I have no idea. says it's not remake yet not as sharp as the original Black Christmas, stabs at timely feminist themes, but mostly hits on familiar pulp. So maybe at some point I'll watch it, but I don't have any plans to.
Yeah. I do like Imogen Poots, though.
Yeah. So next up, we have a movie we've already discussed a few times. I think with Alan Shivers, we talked about this. It is number 34. It's got a 46%. It's 2007's Wind Chill with Emily Blunt.
Yep.
So I still have not seen it, so I have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, I rewatched it recently, in the last year or so, and it holds up. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking. You can tell it's kind of lower budget, but it's interesting to see Emily Blunt when she was younger.
Yep.
Playing an American, and it's good. I like it.
Okay,
worth a watch.
What's up next, Mark?
We have again the movie which you don't have to see if you've already seen Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Right.
This is Silent Night, Deadly Night,
yep,
1984.
It's got a 46%. So we're climbing the ladder here.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
Well, that's because you're naughty.
I know. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Really?
To be perfectly honest, yeah, it really did.
How old were you when you watched it?
I want to say I was somewhere around 10 years old the first time.
Did your mom put it on for you?
I don't think so because...
Maybe Christmas Eve night?
No, I'm fairly certain she didn't, only because of the rape scene. And because, as we've talked about before, she did not allow me to see any sort of sexual activity.
Apart from the movie that's all about that, yes.
Anyway, next, Mark, what do you got?
Your favorite, Dee Wallace.
I love her.
2016's Red Christmas.
I have never heard of this.
But
this sounds freaking awesome.
Just trying to remember if I've seen it.
So it says a widow and her bickering family gather at her remote estate on Christmas Eve. She must soon protect them all from a hideously deformed killer who's out for bloody revenge. It just sounds amazing. But it sounds so low budget.
No, I haven't seen this. Oh, what do you mean? Dee Wallace would never do a low budget movie.
Have you seen 13 yet?
I'm kidding.
Mm-hmm. So number 31 has a 50% score. It is 2016's Holidays.
Yeah.
Is this the one? Hang on. Is this the one with the weird holidays in it?
No.
No, Valentine's Day. Yeah. Because this is the one with St. Patrick's Day where she gives birth to a snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not this holiday.
No, but I mean, it's not ones that you would normally see in a story, right? It's not. It's got some offbeat.
Yeah.
Kmart holidays. You know what I mean?
I guess they're just like, if you're right to do an anthology movie and you're like, okay, let's just do it around holidays.
Right, it would be Christmas, New Year's Eve, Halloween, the big stuff.
No,
but
well,
St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, if you have a number of different slots in there, you could pick other ones too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say honestly that St. Patrick's Day, that was really fucking twisted. I loved it.
The one which sticks out in my memory is the Easter one, because the Easter bunny is just like looks amazingly creepy in it.
Yeah, he does. You're right, but that when she gives birth to that snake, oh my god. Oh.
You've never given birth to a snake?
No.
Not yet. See what Santa brings you.
That's right. What's up next, Mark?
Well, it's an apology to you, Dim.
Oh, yeah?
Because I have not seen The Apology.
Damn it.
2022 with 52%.
Yep.
Why isn't it?
Let's see. What does it say on here about this movie? 20 years after the disappearance of her daughter, recovering alcoholic Darlene Hagen is preparing to host her family's Christmas celebration with her best friend Gretchen. Late Christmas Eve, Darlene's estranged ex-brother-in-law Jack, the Dicks are always named Jack, arrives unannounced, bearing nostalgic gifts and a heavy secret. Soon Darlene finds herself caught between reason and ruthless instinct. Trapped together by a dangerous storm, a battle of wits escalates to a violent game of revenge. This sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Sounds so. Let's just be honest. It can't be great because Janine Garofalo is one of the headliners, right? She's a great she's a great supporting character, but I do not like anything she headlines. So,
Janine, I'm sorry if you're listening.
I seriously doubt it. Up next, Mark, is a movie that I just happened to see this week.
And this was another one which I was just wavering across. I was asking the wife if she wanted to watch something Christmas horror, and I said, "Whoa, what about this one? It's a Wonderful Life. It's kind of comedy,
Yep.
horror, based on It's a Wonderful Life, obviously." And she's like, "Nah, I've never seen that original movie, so I'm not interested." I'm like,
Your wife has never seen It's a Wonderful Life?
correct.
Mark.
Hey.
Mark.
Hey.
What are you doing over there?
Oh, hey.
That you have not exposed your wife to George Burns. Or not George Burns. What is it? George, what the fuck is his name?
It's
George.
No, it's not George. It's okay. Starring not Cary Grant.
Merry Christmas, Savings and Loan.
Jimmy Stewart, right?
Jimmy Stewart, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's not up to me.
It's not.
No.
I'm sorry, sir, but are you not the provider for the family? Would you not be in charge?
Yeah, but I just watch horror movies.
Okay, fair enough. So anyway, this is It's a Wonderful Knife from 2023, which has a 54% on Rotten Tomatoes. I just saw this, and let me just say, this is a perfectly flawed movie. They completely waste Justin Long because he's in very little of the movie. Joel McHale is fantastic. But it's right up there with Thanksgiving, where it is a stupid fucking slasher film, but I had so much fun watching it.
Yep. And honestly, I don't get the Justin Long thing. I think he's fine, but like I don't really care whether he's in a movie or whether he isn't.
Well, no, but I think with the fact that he's in the movie, he's a wasted opportunity. They could have done a lot more with his character, but they really just don't.
Yeah.
Up next, number 28, Mark. What do we got?
This is 2010's Saint, also known as Sint, which I have not seen.
What is this about?
This is another. This is it Dutch?
I don't know, but it's directed by Dick Moss.
Yes, who did?
But doesn't that mean a lot of dick?
Didn't he do Amsterdam?
I don't know.
I might be.
So a deadly medieval legend springs to life. Yep. So a deadly medieval legend springs to life whenever there's a full moon on December 5th. It sort of sounds like a Christmas Krampus movie almost.
Yes, haha, I was right. So he made Amsterdam. I was just checking that while you were talking.
Well, that's fine.
It was more interesting.
Oh, well, thank you.
I've also not seen Amsterdam, so don't ask me.
I haven't seen either one, so I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm going to catch up to it. If it was on streaming right now, one of my services.
It says it is.
On what?
It says that you can rent Saint on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, or buy it on Prime Video or Apple TV.
No.
Well, pardon me, cheapskate.
I don't rent movies. I spend enough on streaming services. I don't rent.
Okay, so what's up next, Mark?
Okay, 27. We have, again, this was another one which I'm like, maybe we should watch it. Haven't got around to it yet. Probably still will this Christmas time. Yep. This is the remake, or I guess it's more of a sequel, from what I've heard. Silent Night, which is from Silent Night, Deadly Night, with Malcolm McDowell.
Now, is this in that same universe?
Yep.
Really? I did not know that. Okay.
I think it's supposed to be like a remake, but what I've heard is it's more like a sequel.
Well, I mean, it's just weird that he's wearing a mask. Like, he's wearing a Santa mask. He's not just wearing the beard.
They're not keeping it in the same vein as the
right. It seems like it'd be a little bit different. But, I mean, that's okay. It could work.
Changes.
I mean, it could work. It could work really, really well, but it could be just terrible. I don't know. I'm really interested in this next one, though, because I love Shelley Winters. Granted, this movie's older than I am, which is saying a lot, but it's got a 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is 1972's Who Slew Auntie Roo. Mrs. Forrest, Shelley Winters, who's known as Auntie Roo, has a holiday tradition of inviting orphans to her mansion for a party. But Roo isn't completely sane. She lost her husband and is obsessed with her deceased daughter, whose corpse she still keeps in the house. So when Katie Combs sneaks into her party with her brother Christopher, the deranged lady abducts the young girl with hopes of replacing her daughter. Christopher must then try to save Katie. This sounds like it's right up my alley. I need to watch this, and I need to watch it yesterday.
Well, that's your homework for this week.
Absolutely.
Who Slew Auntie Roo?
Yes, I need to find that.
I have not seen it.
I have not either. What's next, Mark? So I'm going to admit, I have passed this movie by so many times, and I don't know why.
All the Creatures Were Stirring?
Yeah.
2018's. It stars, I don't remember the actor's name, but I really like him as an actor. He was like the lead guy in John Dies at the End.
Is that Jonathan Kite?
Oh, God. Let's see. Do, 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 do.
Or Matt Long?
Dies.
God damn, Matt Long has a jaw on him, doesn't he?
Do, 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 do. It is this guy. His name is Chase Williamson.
Who?
Chase Williamson.
I don't even see him under the cast and crew at all.
He's got a very small role in it.
Well, then who cares?
I'm just saying I like the actor and he was in it.
I don't care. What is the... tell me about the movie. Tell me about the movie, Mark.
I would if I could remember anything about it.
The joyful spirit of Christmas takes one dark turn after another, from sadistic to office parties.
Yeah, it's like they're doing like a Christmas office party, and then there's somebody in there to kill them, and it's...
So, from sadistic office parties and last-minute shopping nightmares to vengeful stalkers and immortal demons. Yeah. I'm assuming this is an anthology, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
The office part is the wraparound story.
Okay, gotcha.
I think. God, yeah. So I remember liking it, but obviously I don't remember much about it.
Well, I can tell you, I don't know anything about number 24.
What? Maniac Cop 2?
Mm-hmm.
I've
seen the original, but I've seen the original. I've not seen. I don't remember seeing this one.
There's 2 and 3. I think 3 is like Mask of Justice or something.
Maybe.
Maniac Cop 2. It's a lot of fun. Claudia Christian's in it. And it's funny because she was in what else? The Hidden.
The Hidden.
Ever seen The Hidden with Carol McLaughlin?
I don't think I have.
It's like a sci-fi horror-ish. It's done by Jack Shoulder.
Oh, I know her face. Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah, because she was in Babylon 5.
She's been in a lot of stuff. Yep.
Is that what she was in? Somebody's going to kill me. And they're like, no, it's the other one. And Robert Davi.
I love Robert Davi.
Yeah. I don't remember again too much about this one. I remember it being fun, but not as good as the first one. Doesn't need, same director, I believe.
She's a fantastic character actress, that Claudia Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I've not seen it, so I'm not going to talk about it. We will talk about number 23, though.
Remember it being like a Christmas movie? It could be.
Well, let's see. Let me read the description, see if that tells us why it's a Christmas movie. No, it doesn't. Renegade police officer Matthew Cordell, Robert Zadar, once roamed the streets of New York City, unleashing his murderous brand of vigilante justice upon its denizens before being struck down by good cop Jack Forrest. Now, Forrest is eager to move on from those heinous events, but he is stopped short when a familiar killing spree begins. Though thought dead and gone, Cordell is back from the grave and ready to wreak his merciless havoc once more. I have no idea why this is considered a Christmas movie.
Maybe it's shot at Christmas. Or,
maybe. Who knows?
You know what I mean?
So next up is number 23's 2021's Silent Night. It's got a 66% on Silent Tomatoes. Oh my god.
Silent Tomatoes?
On Silent Tomatoes.
Yeah, Attack of the Silent Tomatoes.
Attack of the Silent Tomatoes. Yes.
Oh, Keira Knightley.
I don't know anything about this movie specifically. I keep seeing it, but I keep passing it by because it just looks boring.
It's just got the most generic cover.
Yeah, so basically they've invited their closest friends to join the family for Christmas dinner at their idyllic home in the English countryside. As the group comes together, it feels like old times, but behind all the laughter and merriment, something is not quite right. The world outside is facing impending doom, and no amount of gifts, games, or Prosecco can make mankind's imminent destruction go away. See, this just seems like it would be so fucking boring, and I have no desire to see it.
Yep.
So, number 22 is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
It is a modern day classic.
And this should be way higher. This is why I think Rotten Tomatoes is not.
I agree.
Ratings.
Are you going to tell the audience what it is?
It is Michael Dougherty's 2015 Krampus.
I just watched this last night, actually. It's got a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So if you think about it, Michael Dougherty's made a classic Halloween and a classic Christmas movie.
I don't know who he is. Let me look this up.
He made Trick or Treat.
Ah, okay. Which was okay. He also was a screenwriter for X2.
Mm-hmm.
And Godzilla King of Monsters. He was a director and screenwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I absolutely adore Krampus. I think it's a fun holiday movie. And it has a very disturbing ending. I mean, if you think about it, because at the end they all realize they're all trapped with those people.
Wow, there's a spoiler right there.
Oh, look, it's from 2015. If anybody hasn't seen it by now, it's almost 10 years old. Fuck you.
Could have at least warned the audience.
Hey, spoiler alert! I just killed Krampus.
Yeah.
Anyway, next.
Another one that's on streaming right now, which I have not seen, Christmas Evil from 1980.
Eavesdropping on mother turns a boy into a killer who roams the streets dressed as Santa Claus. Okay, that sounds very odd, but I'm probably here for it. I'll have to check it out.
But again, this was 4 years before Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Right.
Maybe this would be it. You know,
I'm gonna listen to. I'm gonna watch for it. I'm gonna look for it.
And all that outrage, they love that.
Yeah.
The producers of Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is why it got 4 sequels.
Right.
And a remake.
Uh-huh.
So there you go. Come on, concerned parents.
Right. Fuck you, Moms for Liberty. Anyway, next up is number 20 on our list. It's got a 73% mark on the old Silent Tomato meter.
7 tomato meter?
Silent Tomato meter. I said it was a joke. 7 tomato. It's got a 73 out of 7.
And again, whenever we talk about Michael Dougherty, Bob Clark has made 2 Christmas classics, I guess.
He has, and this one it will forever. It almost is the blueprint for the modern day slasher, isn't it?
It's definitely up there as one of the prototypes.
Right.
It really has. I mean, it really shares a lot with giallo movies.
It does. You're right.
With the unseen killer making phone calls and all this sort of stuff, sort of giallo-esque.
And I know that since you turned me into a giallo expert.
Well, yeah,
because I've seen one.
Exactly.
Yep.
But again, this and this is where Margot Kidder, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, she just, a lot of people to see her as Lois Lane.
Right.
She was an awesome actress.
She was. My favorite Margot Kidder movie is Amityville.
And I think she gets unfairly just kind of misremembered. Probably the same as Christopher Reeve, too. Just in that role. Olivia Hussey in here. Again, this
What'd you call me?
You're Hussey.
Okay.
And again, this is maybe the earliest version or one of the earliest versions of Hey, the Killer's Calling from Inside Your House.
Right.
Spoiler.
And it sounds it also stars a very young Andrea Martin, who I absolutely fucking adore. I think she is a fantastic actress. I love her in everything she's done that I've seen.
And yeah, I mean, as far as slashers go, it's great. But maybe the best part of this movie for me is the girl that he kills up in the attic. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever finds her, and she's there with the plastic over her face.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so number 19, Mark. What do we got?
Another one which is on streaming right now. I don't know. I guess they're picking a lot of these. It's I Prep the Devil.
I've not heard of this one before. So enlighten me.
I will. Once I click on
it. So I take it you haven't seen it either then?
No, I haven't seen it, but I saw the synopsis of it whenever I was
okay. So hoping for a joyful family reunion, Matt and his wife pay a surprise visit to the home of his estranged brother Steve to celebrate Christmas. To their shock and horror, they learn that Steve has a hostage in his basement, a man he claims is the devil.
But I think it's Santa.
It doesn't say it's Santa, but I don't know.
I think that's why it's a Christmas movie.
Oh, is that it? Not the fact that they're just visiting on Christmas. It's because he's got Santa trapped and he's calling him the devil.
So. I could be wrong.
Do you think he's dyslexic and maybe he mistook Santa for Satan?
Probably.
Fair enough. Okay, Mark, have you seen this next one?
Number 18? No, but I'm surprised I haven't.
So this is 2003's Dead End. It has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. What is this one about, Mark? This is about, let me tell you, when a family en route to a Christmas Eve gathering decides to take a shortcut down a wooden road, an eerie sequence of events signals trouble ahead. After nearly colliding with an oncoming car, Father Frank, Ray Wise, how could this be bad?
Exactly.
Picks up a ghostly hitchhiker, Amber Smith, and her infant child. With the sudden appearance of their new passengers, the route becomes dark and treacherous, and the family's numbers rapidly begin to dwindle in a series of seemingly connected, grisly roadside accidents.
You know what?
Do they have like 37 people in the car or something?
I think I have seen this. But it must have been soon after it came out.
Yeah, I have not seen this one, but it just sounds like there's 37 people. I saw that. But it sounds like there's 37 people in the car.
Well, yeah, it's a big car.
Yeah, apparently. I might check that out eventually. But I want to talk about number 17, Mark. Tell me what number 17 is.
Okay, this is the wonderful movie, which I have not seen.
I watched it last night.
2021's Red Snow. Oh, with Vernon Wells in it.
Yeah, yep. This is an abomination.
Oh, that's good.
I made it through 30 minutes and had to turn it off because it was so terrible. So essentially, a bat flies into the side of a house, and this romance novelist picks it up, puts it into her garage, and it turns into a vampire, where she instantly becomes infatuated and starts feeding it blood.
But this has got 75% on Silent Tomato.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's terrible. Silent Tomato should have remained silent.
So, well, what happens in the end, Jim?
I have no idea. I turned it off after 30 minutes.
What if the last hour is superb?
Trust me, it's not.
Well, it's got 75%.
It's fucking terrible.
You heard it here, folks.
You did. Please save yourself the time and the headache. So, number 16 is 2008's The Children, with a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is an unsettling and spine-chilling, low-budget British horror with effective and disturbing scares. Mark, have you seen this one? It is British.
No.
Okay, so let us read...
Oh, hang on. Maybe I might have. Yes, I have seen this.
Okay, tell us about this movie, because I haven't seen it.
Let me go here to make sure it's the one I definitely...
Two families gather at an upscale English estate in late December.
The kids start to go crazy.
Right? For weekend bonding, but when they arrive, one of the children becomes sick, and all of the children... Okay, so I think I have started to watch this, but I don't think I've seen it all.
This was pretty good. From memory. Killer Kids.
Yeah, I love Killer Kids.
One of the kids isn't affected by it or something, and they're trying to warn the rest, the adults and stuff. Yeah, worth a watch.
Okay, what's up next, Mark?
This is Alex de la Gazia. The Day of the Beast from 1995, and I saw this in 1995. And I really have to watch it again. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Do you want to elaborate?
So I don't know if you know Alex de la Glazia. He did things like Witching and Bitching, and he does.
I hated that movie.
30 coins thing on.
I haven't seen that, but I see our friend Jeff is really obsessed with that show.
And he's just like kind of balls to the wall, comedy, horror, just kind of wackiness. And yeah, I've not seen this since it came out, but I loved it, and I really must watch it again. This is a good reminder for me to watch it.
Okay, so I have not seen it, and I have absolutely no opinion, but I did want to discuss something. So we're looking at the score. What score did this movie get on the Tomato Meter, Mark?
77.
Do you know what that score is based on?
What, one review?
13. 13 fucking reviews.
Why? How many do they normally do?
I have no idea, but that's just ridiculous.
Well, is it?
76 for the children is based on 17 reviews.
Well,
so we can't trust these people, Mark. These tomatoes are terrible.
I'm not a big fan of tomatoes.
Okay, so let me stop trying to be funny. So
you were trying to be funny?
I was. So number 14.
Ladies and gentlemen, just let you know, Jim was trying to be funny.
Right. So number 14 on our list is 2018's Await Further Instructions with an 81% score on Rotten Tomatoes.
How many reviews?
Take a guess.
12.
21.
Oh.
So I have seen this movie and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an interesting premise and it was a little bit different, so I liked it. I did not remember that it took place on Christmas Day.
I have a question for you about this one.
Sure.
Because I guess whenever Skinamarink came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, there was lists of like other quote-unquote analog horrors.
Yep.
And this was on it.
Yep.
So I've avoided it. Because I'm like, if it's like Skinamarink.
It's nothing like Skinamarink.
Okay. So it's an actual movie.
It is an actual movie. There's action, shit happens, people get hurt. It's definitely a movie.
How are they?
So essentially,
of the
so what essentially happens is this family is essentially trapped in their house, and the only thing they can do is listen to their TV for instructions on how to survive. And that's it. And all the TV is telling them is stay indoors and await further instruction, and then trouble ensues. That's all I'm going to say, because it definitely is worth a watch, at least once through.
I'll give it 30 minutes.
You'll give it more than that, I promise. You'll probably make it through this movie.
We'll see.
Okay. What's up next, Mark?
Okay, so this is one I did watch this week, and this is a first time watch.
Yeah, and how was it? Because I scrolled past it several times this week.
This is a Belgian / French, as Alan was saying. Sometimes I think they're cross produced, but
not Flemish.
Leave the Flemish out of this. And this is at 82% on Silent Tomatoes. 2020 is the Advent calendar.
Yeah. So tell me about this movie. I mean, obviously, it's about a paraplegic.
Well, how's it obviously about a paraplegic?
Well, based on the wheelchair in the movie poster.
Well, no, she could just have a broken leg.
She's a paraplegic. I've read the synopsis.
You've read the synopsis, so it's not obvious.
It is obvious because she's in a wheelchair.
Everybody in a wheelchair is a paraplegic.
No, but it's a logical assumption given that she's in a wheelchair.
No, it's just because you read the synopsis.
No, it's not. It might also have to do with the fact that I did start to watch the trailer.
So it's obvious.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
So anyway, tell us about the movie. Was it good? Should we watch it? What happens?
I did enjoy it. It's something a little bit different. So our main actress, our main character, as Eva. You said, kind of she's newly paraplegic.
Yep, just 3 years.
So she's still trying to come to terms with it.
You think after 3 years she'd get over it, right?
She's having a real like, well, it's more about the people around her. So like her boss is all like, oh, you need to like work harder or whatever. We spent a lot of money installing ramps and stuff for you and all that sort of stuff. Like just that sort of bullshit, right? And there's more of those people around her who are just like awful, horrible people, and some of them try to take advantage of her. But she's given a German advent calendar from her friend as kind of a because it's their birthday at the start of the December, like December 4th or whatever. And she's like, okay, that's awesome. And it's really cool looking. It's like a big wooden piece of wood, big calendar. So with all the doors
wait, did you just describe it as a big wooden piece of wood?
It is. It's got lots of pieces of wood put together with nails and the sort, and all these little boxes in there, obviously, as an advent calendar.
So I want everybody to understand. He just described it as a big wooden piece of wood.
Oh, shut up, Silent Tomatoes.
I know.
I'm trying to reflect. A big wooden objet d'art. How about that? Is that
better? Dart.
And it's got like this inscription on the back, and again it's in German, and her friend can speak German and whatnot. It's like,
does it say it's a giant piece of wooden wood?
It says if you throw this away, I will kill you.
No.
And then she opens like I say, it's like December 3rd or whatever, so she opens the first 3 doors, and the first one, it's a piece of candy, and it says on it, if you eat this candy, you must eat all the rest of the candy that you find, or I'll kill you.
Okay. It's a very passive-aggressive advent calendar.
And so what it turns out to be, it's kind of like a monkey's paw sort of thing, where there's different doors lead to different things happening to people that she might want something bad to happen to, for example. It also, well, I won't say certain parts because I don't want to spoil it, but it gives her these, it's kind of this wish fulfillment, but, like Wishmaster, it's like, there's going to be there's bad sides to it too, right?
Yep, there's always a catch, fucker.
But no, it's really interesting movie. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of slowish, I would say. So just be prepared for that. But I mean, I think the characters are engaging. The main woman really looks like what's her face from Megan that I like.
Oh yeah, the aunt.
Yeah, what's her name?
I don't remember. Okay, so up next at number 12.
Anyway, hang on, before we go.
No. I don't care about the niece or the aunt.
No, I'm not talking about that. So this movie, it's got a very interesting ending too. Let me just say that.
Okay. Is it nihilistic like Martyrs, or is it a little more hopeful?
I will not say anything else.
Well, if you like it, it's got to be nihilistic. It has to be.
Well, maybe.
I've yet to see you enjoy a happy ending movie.
What do you mean? I do like happy endings too.
Name one.
Jaws.
I don't know that that's a happy ending. That's a survivor story.
Alien. I mean, most of the great movies have happy endings, right? So I'm gonna like those things. Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not saying E.T. You're talking about Jaws, which is just survivors, not actually a happy ending.
It's a happy ending, yes.
It's not a happy ending that only one person survived.
2 people survived, Jim. Jesus Christ.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, anyway, number 12.
Oh, that's worse than my wood being a piece of wood. Hang your head in shame.
No, I don't know Shane. Anyway, so next up is number 12. It's 2007's Inside with an 85% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. You've seen this one, Mark?
This is my second favorite movie of the new French extremities movement. This is absolutely fantastic.
Is it really? It sounds interesting.
Oh, it's a total home invasion movie, but really it's a pregnant woman being stalked by somebody else
By a scissor
um,
wielding psychopath.
on Christmas Day, and other people
It's sir. I'm sorry, but I need to correct you. It's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, and other people turn up. So it's not just her and the person, but it's very bloody, very gory,
Mm-hmm.
not for the faint of heart. Well acted, well directed, brutal, but really good.
Brutal, like Bambi brutal.
Like what? It's even more brutal than Halloween.
Oh wow, nice, nice. I do like a brutal movie.
Oh yeah, if you like the French more extreme movies,
Mm-hmm.
check out Inside or L'Intérieur. As I say it en français.
En français.
En français.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what do we got at number 11?
2020's Hosts. Never seen it, never heard of it.
Me either. So shall we talk about it?
Yeah, I mean,
we talk shit about everything else. We might as well talk about something we've never seen, right?
Okay, yeah, this one's terrible.
Yeah, right. So it's based on 12 reviews, but it has an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a family falls victim to unimaginable terror when they invite their sweet young neighbors over to celebrate Christmas Eve. How unimaginable is it if somebody wrote a movie about it? It sounds pretty imaginable to me, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, next.
Next up is the William Shatner vehicle.
I tried to watch this and I could not get through 15 minutes of it.
Oh, no, it was fine. I mean, I don't really think it should be this high up on this list. And it's 2015's A Christmas Horror Story.
Yep.
83%. Pretty forgettable, I guess.
Based on how many reviews there, Mark?
14.
23.
Wow.
So
I think
based on when you get to 500 plus ratings, can you guess what the score is? The audience score for this movie.
40.
48.
Yeah. That's what I figured. Yeah. Probably the Krampus part is the most memorable, but otherwise, it was a one-time watch. It was just all right, and that was it.
Okay. And at number 9, we have 2021's The Retaliators with an 88% score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. I've not seen the next 5 of these movies.
So this movie its tomato meter score is based off of 43 reviews.
I've seen this on Shudder, as I've been scrolling. I think it's Shudder or something.
It has 48 reviews for the audience score, and it's at 89%. So,
see, it had something about some priest doing something, or I'm like,
so in The Retaliators, an upstanding pastor uncovers a dark and twisted underworld as he searches for answers surrounding his daughter's brutal murder. A high-octane original soundtrack and cameos from some of the biggest names in rock music set the tone as this horror thriller reveals a game of revenge played using a new set of rules. Michael Lombardi, Mark Menchaca, Joseph Gatt, star Five Finger Death Punch, Tommy Lee, Papa Roach, The Who, Ice Nine Kills, Corey Marks, Escape the Fate, All Good Things, and more appear on screen.
Yeah, that's whenever I read that, I'm like, that's a real weird way of selling your movie.
Right. I might actually want to check this out. That sounds like it could be fun.
Check it out and see if it's any good. But
yeah, it sounds like it could be fun. What do we got next?
And I wonder just how many. Well, I mean, I guess the critics partly like it, but I wonder how many fans of those bands rate it up just for having some of their people in it.
Yeah.
Curse of the Cat People, 1944. Dame, you know all about this one?
I don't. I've only ever seen the original.
Yeah, it's directed by Robert Wise.
Interesting.
Yep, not seen it.
I'm even reading the synopsis, and I don't see what makes this a Christmas movie.
Oh, Oliver Reed's in it too. Huh.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure. I don't have anything to say about it.
Hang on, 1944, Oliver Reed? He must have been really young in this. Oh, hang on. Oliver Reed is the name of the character.
Yes, Kent Smith played Oliver Reed.
I thought it was the actor. I'm like, he must be really young. Okay, not seen it.
Okay, me either. So next up is number 7, 2019's The Lodge, with a 75% score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not seen it.
Let me read this synopsis. It does not sound familiar, but let's see. During a family retreat to a remote winter cabin over the holidays, the father is forced to abruptly depart for work, leaving his 2 children in the care of his girlfriend, Grace. Isolated and alone, a blizzard traps them inside the lodge as terrifying events summon specters from Grace's dark past. So I have no idea, never seen it, don't care to. It sounds boring as shit.
It might be alright. I might watch it if I find it on there somewhere.
Next up.
Oh, okay, this is another one. I was scrolling past. Should I watch?
I have seen this one.
Oh, and is it worth my time? I'm sorry, it is 2022's Santa Robot Horror, Christmas Bloody Christmas.
So this is only worth your time if you're looking for a dumb as shit horror movie. Like, this is a military-grade robot Santa that comes to life and kills people. So it's stupid, it's fun, and I enjoyed the hell out of it because it's just that stupid.
Yeah, turn your brain off and just...
Yeah, exactly. It's if you just want a slasher film with lots of blood and guts and stupid acting, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of thing, like, whenever I say, there's certain movies you turn your brain off, I think there also has to be a certain amount of quality in other areas that makes up for that, right?
Right, and I appreciate this movie enough. Like, yes, absolutely, you can turn your brain off and just watch a stupid slasher flick with a robot Santa. But legitimately, there's no redeeming qualities about this movie. I don't know why I enjoyed it as much as I do. I don't have any reason for liking this movie as much as I did, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, that's a lot of deep introspection there, Jim. Thanks for that.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
I'm just saying, if I like something, I can usually point out why.
Yeah, I really, legitimately, I cannot find any redeeming qualities in the movie, but I enjoyed it.
Next up, I'll leave this one to you. I assume you've seen the next one.
I have.
It sounds like something right up your alley.
Why? Is that because it's a musical?
Yep.
Okay.
And is it?
It is.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this, Mark. Tell everybody what the movie is. Come on.
It's Anna and the Apocalypse, 2017.
What is its score on Rotten Tomatoes, Mark?
77.
Based on how many reviews do you think?
35.
128, my friend.
Ooh.
And if we go to the audience score, Mark, which is 1,000+ ratings, what do you think we're at?
75.
63.
Okay.
So this is essentially a young girl who goes to high school, is dropped off, and the zombie apocalypse breaks out. Right? While she's in school, and it takes place during the Christmas holiday. And there's a lot of singing and dancing. I think this is a fantastic, fun movie. I love it. The songs are fun, the characters are engaging, and the ridiculous is absolutely ridiculous. There's one teacher in here. What the hell is his name? I don't know. I don't see his picture right now, but he is just creepy as shit, and he makes you just want to vomit. And he's just as shitty as you think he'd be. Like, the casting is perfect. The actors are great. I cannot say enough good things about this movie.
Yeah, I won't be watching it. Anyway.
I know, you hate musicals because you're so straight. We get it, Mark.
Just not my thing.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Okay, next one up. Jimmy, I think you made a post about the sequel for this, so maybe you should
I absolutely did.
This one.
So this is number 4. We have an 86% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It is 1984's Gremlins.
Absolute classic.
It is an absolute classic. You know what is not an absolute classic, Mark?
What?
The sequel.
I prefer the sequel.
I think you're ridiculous. and I have no more respect for you whatsoever. The little bit I had was gone.
Like you ever did. I just like the sequel more because it's just even wackier than the first.
It is absolutely wacky. My big thing is the character you're supposed to feel sympathetic towards, Gizmo. I think he's a pain in the neck and he's obnoxious in the second movie.
He turns into Rambo. Spoiler.
I know he does, and nobody cares.
Well, I mean, I don't really think Gizmo really is the protagonist.
Well, the other thing I hate is in the sequel is that you would think that the characters would grow, but they make the same stupid mistakes.
Oh, like the human characters in
Yes.
the sequel are
Yes.
very much to the background.
Yeah, they're
It's
not
all about the crazy gremlins
right.
action, and who cares about the humans?
Right. Phoebe Cates serves no purpose but to walk around and scream.
Yeah, and the Donald Trump stand-in,
Right.
it's funny, but yeah, no, it's just like, especially like the brainy gremlin, like
Yep.
he just fucking cracks me up.
Yeah, he is great.
I maybe because I've seen Gremlins probably growing up more than Gremlins too. That it's if it's on TV, I might keep watching it. But I've seen it so many times. So
Absolutely. The original's a classic. So, Mark, I want to talk about number 3 for a little bit. Have you seen it? Okay, what is it?
it is the 2016. I'm actually surprised this is third place, but anyway,
I am too.
I suppose how many reviews for Better Watch Out?
What's the score?
88.
Based off of
20.
66.
Oh.
So when we go to the audience score, though, Mark, we get up to 2,500 plus. What do you think their score is for the audience rating?
70.
64.
Yeah, close.
I will tell you that the first time I saw this film, I felt dirty. The guy Asa, the kid Asa, what's his name? Oh, Levi Miller. I'm sorry, I don't know why I wanted to call him Asa. Levi Miller plays the best and most depraved 12-year-old psychopath I think I've ever seen on film.
Yep. He kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen Funny Games.
I don't think I have.
The Michael Haneke movie, or the remake. But there's a couple of antagonists there that kind of remind me of that same character. Although, in a similar sort of way, just like, but I think in this movie, it's a lot more disarming. I think the director does a really good job of setting it up as if the kid is normal.
Right. Like he's a victim just like she is because you think somebody else is stalking them.
But whenever they do that switch, it's like, wow, that's fantastic.
I just watched this the other night, and I obviously already know about the switch because I've seen it a couple times already. Mm-hmm. But it's still an effective film, and like his glee and his enjoyment of being a psychopath comes through so strong. Like this kid is a phenomenal actor. I mean, I haven't seen him in much other than this, but so I'll be honest with you, I pirated this movie way back when I had a jailbroken Fire Stick, and it was called Safe Neighborhood.
I prefer Better Watch Out.
Yeah, I agree. It's a better title, but I felt so dirty after watching it the first time, but it's such a phenomenally well-made film. Like you see how manipulative he is, you see how much he could and how smart he is. And my favorite is the ending. What year did this come out?
2016.
Okay, so fuck you, it's old enough. When she flips him off as she's being brought into the ambulance, I was just like, yes, that is the perfect ending for this film. Because he thought he did everything right. Until he finds out she duct taped her neck so that she wouldn't bleed to death.
Yep, and that actress was in what M. Night Shyamalan movie?
I don't know. Olivia DeJonge?
In The Visit.
Oh, she was one of the kids?
Yep.
Oh, I did not recognize her at all. Wow. I love that movie. That's one of the few M. Night Shyamalan movies I like.
Do you like the kid rapping several times during the movie?
No, not so much.
Well,
It was really the diaper eating scene that got me.
you like the musical stuff, so I thought
Yeah,
maybe
no.
you'd enjoy those parts.
So next up, Mark, you're going to talk about this one because I've never seen it.
Well, again, this is my first time watch this week.
Okay.
I don't know how I've avoided it up until now, and this is a very different type of Christmas horror movie.
Okay.
This is the Finnish Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale.
Okay. So,
So
Mark, what is its Rotten Tomato score?
it is 89%.
Based on how many reviews do you think?
74.
107.
Wow.
What do you think? So, with the audience score, we get up over 10,000 plus ratings. What do you think
Wow.
its audience score is?
80.
70.
I was going to say 70. Damn it. So this one is actually a bit of a slow burn. So the reason why I definitely was like, okay, I have to watch it this year because I've just avoided it for whatever reason,
Yep.
is because I watched the movie Sisu this year.
Oh, how was that? I haven't seen that yet. I keep meaning to watch it, but
Oh, well, I think I've talked about it in this podcast.
you probably have.
It's fantastic. It's done by the same director as Rare Exports.
Okay.
Um, it's a movie so Sisu,
Yep.
kind of like this movie, it's actually a little slow to start off with.
Okay.
But what's great about having somebody from a different part of the world make a movie and shoot the movie in that part of the world, get some wonderful landscapes that you don't normally see.
Right.
Beautiful Finnish, I believe, landscapes. But
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
How many more times are you going to say finish?
What's it got to do with you? I'll finish it when I want to finish it.
Next.
What do you mean next? I'm in the middle of talking.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry, I phased out. What were you saying?
Jesus, I'm glad you're so engaged.
I know, right?
So
only when you talk. I pay attention when I talk.
You want me to talk about Sisu or now?
No, I want you to talk about Rare Exports. We're not talking about Sisu.
Well,
it's not
you
a Christmas
did
movie.
ask me how Sisu is.
I did, but let's not bore them during Christmas.
Oh yeah, because this is so riveting.
I know.
Okay, so Rare Exports starts with a mountain in Finland. Jim,
is it a Finnish mountain?
it is a Finnish mountain.
Oh, interesting.
Where there is kind of this eccentric guy who's hired people to take samples from it.
Is he a Finnish guy?
He is not a Finnish guy.
Oh,
because he speaks English. Yeah.
You don't think Finnish people can speak English? Are you saying they're stupid?
So, with this movie, you have certain characters that speak English, but most of the characters speak Finnish.
Okay.
So they're obviously drawing a line between the locals and the non-locals.
Okay, if you say so.
How many languages can you speak, Jim?
I can speak 2.
Okay, go ahead.
English and sarcasm.
Mm-hmm. Can't even do the second one well. I'm neither the first one either. Probably not. So they're taking samples from this mountain. They've got like a small kind of village type at the bottom of the mountain who live off basically hunting as their livelihood.
Okay.
People doing the excavation or whatever in the mountain find something. Something happens that was in the mountain that gets out, and then weird stuff happens in this little small village. Yep.
This movie's 13 years old. You can spoil it. It's okay.
No, I really don't want to spoil it because there's an interesting twist in it.
Okay.
About who you think it is.
It looks like Santa's in a cage.
I'm not bringing to say anything else. But this is very inventive, really well acted, especially even by the main protagonist as a kid.
Right.
Yeah. And it's quite an emotional movie at certain points. His dad's
then I'm
very
going to hate it.
um, but there's a great character arc from that kid from the start to the end, and it is fantastical. And it's not meant to be taken obviously 100% seriously,
Right.
but it is within the context of the movie, right? So all the characters are playing it straight. So yeah, definitely check out Rare Exports at Christmas.
Mark, we've arrived at number 1.
Okay, I'll let you talk about this one.
So, I hate that this movie is on this list. Why? I don't think this movie deserves to be on this list. I don't care what anybody says, but to me, this is a Halloween movie.
Is it based? What time of year is it set at?
It depends. It takes place from Christmas or from Halloween to Christmas.
So if it's set at Christmas at a certain point, then it can be a Christmas movie, right?
It can be, and that's a giant debate about this movie. But I'm talking about from my own personal experience and my own personal preferences. This is a Halloween movie. I will, granted, watch it any time of the year it's on because it's fantastic. But we are talking about 1993's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a Rotten Tomatoes score mark of 95.
Yep.
How many reviews do you think that's based off of?
Oh, Jesus. 400.
108.
Oh.
Now let's talk about the audience score, Mark. You get up to 250,000 plus ratings. What do you think its audience score is?
Was it 95? So I'm going to say 85.
92.
Ooh.
Yes. And I have to say the music is fantastic. The claymation is amazing. The visuals are phenomenal. This is a fantastic stop motion film. However, the characters are from Halloween Town and they try to invade Christmas, starting at the end of Halloween. So it takes place from Halloween to Christmas. It's a great transition film. I've never considered it a Christmas movie, even though I know they say it's both.
Well, it is both.
It really is, but I don't consider it both. I see it as a Halloween movie. Mark, what did you think?
I mean, it's good. When I was a little younger, I mean, I wasn't a kid whenever I saw this, but I was a little bit more probably. I could put up with it more.
A little less jaded, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I mean, your taste changed. Mine got more and more into horror. But yeah, it's totally fine.
Yep.
I'll say okay. It's really good. I think for probably the majority of people, I find it's fine. Entertaining enough. I do think this is much a Christmas. I think it was probably some sort of genius of their marketing department to say, "Hey, we can sell this stuff at Christmas and Halloween."
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, everybody's seen it. So
we've reached the end of our list.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you want to talk about?
So there's another Christmas horror movie which I watch usually every year.
Okay.
Which is Santa's Sleigh.
Ah, yes. The fantastic Bill Goldberg. Oh, he's so gorgeous. If there ever was a perfect physical specimen.
You heard it here first, folks. But Santa's Sleigh is just so much fun.
Yeah, I agree. It is fantastic. I saw that for the first time last year.
It almost makes a nice double bill with Krampus.
Yep.
And that's sort of absurdist.
Yep.
Horror stuff. One of the best Christmas horror openings.
Yep, agreed with Fran Drescher and James Caan. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at a couple of lists here to see if there's anything else obvious we missed. ATM. Ginger Dead Man. There you go.
Yep, I will say the one and only one that I enjoy in that series is Ginger Dead Man: Passion of the Crust.
Well, of course. I mean, everybody agrees that it's the best of the.
Of course, it's the best of the worst.
Franchise, yeah.
Yeah. I am curious to see Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong, but I haven't seen that yet.
Well, we know what Santa's going to be bringing you.
I doubt it.
Nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tim?
Yeah, you got anything else?
Let me just see here. Christmas Evil. Better watch out.
Talked about it.
There's a British slasher. What it's called.
Is that Luna or is that your fan?
No, that's me. That's my finger.
Are you tapping on the microphone? What is that?
No, I'm going down this list.
God, you couldn't just get a scroll wheel on your mouse like a normal human being?
No, I don't have a mouse.
Why? What's wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Everybody has a mouse. Nobody uses the keys.
I did.
There's something seriously wrong with you, Mark.
Okay.
You know, somebody told me they were worried about me being a psychopath.
Well, of course.
Where is it? Oh, I think it was Carlos, actually. Our friend Carlos Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
He, somebody told him that that he was just horrible because of his deaths in his books. And I said, you're not horrible. You just give them what they deserve. And he says, no, some of them didn't deserve it. You must be a psychopath if you think they deserved it.
Well, correct.
Yeah. Not untrue.
Don't Open Till Christmas. I think that's what it is.
I have not seen that one.
It's a 1984 British slasher. A man in a Santa suit and a woman meet in an alleyway to have sex in a car and are stabbed to death by a man wearing a grinning, translucent mask. During a party, another man dressed like Santa has a spear thrown through his head. Oh, this is a guy that goes around killing Santa Clauses.
Oh.
So you should like it since you hate Christmas.
Indeed.
You're like the Melania Trump of this podcast.
I don't get the reference.
She was caught on tape saying, "Who gives a fuck about Christmas and the stupid decorations?"
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that'd be me.
Yeah.
I don't have her money, though.
Or her husband.
Thank God for small favors. But that's for another podcast.
Okay. That is all I have for the Christmas.
Okay.
I do have a couple of other movies I've watched.
Why don't we save that for the live?
No, I want to talk about it now.
Okay, go ahead.
It's only a couple anyway.
Everything that I've watched this week we talked about on these lists, so.
Okay. Have you seen
Nope.
1991's The Boneyard?
No.
This was a very interesting movie.
Okay.
It stars probably somebody who you know more than I do. The name of this person, The Boneyard. Okay. It has Phyllis Diller.
I love Phyllis Diller.
Yeah, I thought you would. She plays Miss Poopenplatz.
Why do I know that name?
I don't know.
Children turn into zombies, wreak havoc on a coroner's building with just a burned-out psychic, an experienced cop, and 2 coroners to stop the madness. Is that the one? Yep, Phyllis Diller, Mrs. Poopenplatz.
This is I feel this is very kind of a unique movie.
It sounds like it's right up my alley.
Apparently, I was reading on like IMDb trivia or something. It was that you could get it with different sleeves, one that says horror and one that says comedy.
Yep.
There's not a lot of comedy in this movie, to be honest with you. So I don't know why. Even though they have a extremely large poodle at the end, but for most of the movie, I think it's played pretty straight. Sure. I find it interesting because the main, so we have like the lead detective who's this older, gray-haired, guy in his probably his 60s.
Ed Nelson.
Ed
Nelson.
Sure. And he's got like a younger partner with him, but the start of it is him going into this house, and this older, larger woman chases one of them out, right? And it turns out that she's a psychic.
Okay.
And you just don't get to see like older, middle-aged, pretty overweight women in that sort of joint leading role.
Right.
She's not played as a joke.
Oh, her. Yeah, okay. I know that face. I've seen her before.
And she was really good in it.
Yeah.
In fact,
and Norman Fell, our favorite from Three's Company's in it?
In fact, I think there's only one younger actress in it, and she's not in it very well. She is a little bit. And then we have some kind of zombie-ish kids, but the makeup's great on them.
Yeah.
I really like this.
Yeah. I need to look this up. Where did you watch it?
I saw this. It was either on Amazon Prime. I think it was Amazon Prime.
Okay. I'll have to look it up because that looks like something I would really enjoy, especially after seeing that poodle.
Yeah, and that leads you to think it's going to be something really wacky.
Yeah.
And there's comedic elements in it, but I mean, to say you could just say this is a straight comedy or a straight horror, no. Okay, so that's a definite recommend.
Yep.
So the next one's a really weird one. I guess keeping in somewhat of the snowy Christmas tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I watched 2013's The Devil's Past.
Okay.
Also known as the Dyatlov Pass Incident.
Oh, the Dyatlov Pass, yeah.
So this is a Renny Harlin movie, of all people.
Okay.
And it's a found footage movie.
Okay.
Now, this is 13, 14 years after Blair Witch Project.
Right.
But they absolutely, almost to a T, copied the Blair Witch Project until maybe the last quarter.
And you understand what happened to the Dyatlov Pass, right?
Yeah, some people died.
It's a little weirder than that. But yes.
I know it from what they said in the movie.
Yeah, so there was a group of people that were hiking or something in the middle of snow, and they don't know why, but for whatever reason, they left their tent and got undressed, and they found them dead in various poses in various states of undress. Like they left the tent with no shoes.
Yeah.
They left with no socks. It was just very, very strange. Like none of it made much sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's about a documentary crew from America going over there to try and figure out what happened.
Right.
Again, this has got the same structure as the Blair Witch Project. We have,
okay, that's fair.
Like the main girl, who's doing like a class and she's wanting to do this project on it. So mm-hmm. She brings along like a camera guy and this guy, and, they all go there, and then all of a sudden, they get lost, and then there's things outside their tents, and
right.
I'm like, this is just the Blair Witch Project up a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, like, the characters are like really annoying.
Okay.
Like, really annoying.
So sort of like that, The Rite, or whatever that movie was we watched? The Shrine.
No. the shrine, those characters were well developed and interesting. Now these were all like, again, you would think it was almost like a really crappy, no name director 2003 Blair Witch Project knockoff.
Okay.
But this is 2013, so I have no idea like what the hell they're thinking. Like, and then they find out kind of what's going on, and none of that makes any sense. And they don't, like, they try and tie everything into this certain thing that's happening, but there's no real resolution. This was not good at all.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
It's a shame.
Because I like Renny Harlin in general.
Yep.
And I like some found footage stuff.
What else you got?
That's it.
Okay, so I have two books I want to talk about. One I don't think I've mentioned yet, right? And the other one I know I haven't mentioned yet. So the first book I wanted to talk about was Anika Rising, which is the fourth book in the Gretel series by Christopher Coleman. And unfortunately, I have to say that at this point where this book takes place, I'm sick of all of the tropes. I'm sick of everybody knowing where to go to come to the resolution they need. I'm sick of the trials and tribulations they have to endure just to get there, rather than, an emotional story. It's all become fodder and it's boring. I did not enjoy this book like I did the previous three in this series, because it's just more of the same. There's nothing new. There's nothing inventive other than the main character who you thought was dead at the end of the third book coming back to life.
Spoiler.
Yeah. The book I really want to talk about, Marcus, because I think you'll like this one, is called Baby Fights by Robert Essig.
Mm-hmm.
Have we talked about it yet?
No.
Okay, so this book is very interesting. It's not at all what I thought it was going to be. I was expecting some weird baby fight club thing, right? and while you do get that, it's more.
How did that even happen, though?
So I don't want to ruin it because it's a very short read and it's very quick and it's very enjoyable. It's a little on the graphic side for some people that have a problem with that, and I generally don't like the more splatter punk extreme horror stuff. Mm-hmm. But this one I enjoyed. So essentially, this guy and his friends are getting high and talking about ways to make money, and they realize, hey, we could make babies fight each other to the death. So this guy, the main character, and his friend start abducting children, like infants, and getting them high on angel dust and putting them in a fight ring until they kill each other.
How old are these kids?
No older than 2, generally. So it's a bit on the absurdist side, right? So that it sort of gives you a little bit of levity, right? Yeah. But it's not so much about the babies as it is about the adults that are part of this world,
right?
And their depravity and their just everything that goes on with them. The babies, honestly, you don't even hear much about their fighting until the last part of the book. So, I was really disturbed and had to turn the book off a couple times because it does get quite graphic and a little disgusting. But I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of the book in total. I really did.
Interesting.
And then I think that was it, because I think I already talked about The Laughing Policeman by Elizabeth J. Brown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it for me.
Okay.
So everybody, if you celebrate holidays around this time of year, happy holidays to you.
Yep.
From both Mark and myself.
If you get a day or two off work for whatever reason, that's always a good thing.
Yep, absolutely. And we will talk to you soon.
Next year, maybe?
Yes. I don't know if it's going to be that long. Is it? Yeah, probably. Probably, yeah. So we'll talk to you next year. Maybe we'll do a year in review, or we do have something very exciting coming up, Mark, that I'm excited about. Do you want to give them a little teaser?
Time we in at some point.
Yeah, do you want to talk? You want to give a little teaser?
Well, why don't you? Because you're the one that passed on the message from.
Right. So we had somebody that's been a guest on the show before. Her name is Kaz. came up with an idea, and I really like it. I think it's going to be fun. We're going to invite a few of our author friends back, and we're going to have a little bit of a roundtable about horror and what we find horrifying and that sort of stuff. And then we're going to try and come up with our own little story.
Jim, did you check that link I sent you?
I have not watched the whole thing. I've not had time to sit down and watch the whole thing yet. But I did watch about 30 minutes of it so far.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah,
I don't know who the female author is that supposedly writes Tuttle. Yeah, I don't know who she is. I've never read anything by her.
It's weird that I can remember their names. Well, obviously, yeah. I know the main players, like Ramsey Campbell and stuff. I can remember the names because I watched this. I recorded this whenever I was younger, right? And I just watched it over and over again. This was just to pull the curtain back a little bit. Back, oh God, I don't even know when it was. Probably in the early 90s, maybe. Maybe. On Halloween in the UK, the BBC did, I think it was the BBC, or one of the TV channels, did this Halloween special. And this is the way they should do it, rather than these 100 scariest moments. This is something way more interesting, where they got a round table of John Carpenter, Clive Barker, Roger Corman, Peter Atkins, Ramsey Campbell, Lisa Tuttle. Is that it? Am I forgetting anyone?
Yeah, that sounds right. I can't think of anybody you might be missing.
So all these great creators and writers of horror, and they just sit around a table, smoking their cigars, having a dinner, and just kind of talking about horror in general, what scares them, and what they think evil is. And then towards the end of it, they decide, hey, we're going to come up with a story. What we'll do is we'll just take turns. I'll come up with hey, this is the start, and then the person on my right just picks it up from there, and just to see how that story evolves. So that's you can find this on YouTube, and it's called Horror Cafe. With just
I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I won't tell you who's coming back on, but it'll be a few of the authors we've already had.
I hope they're better than we are.
I hope they are too, because I've heard you getting creative. It's not fun.
What do you mean?
Anyway, on that note, everybody have a great holiday season, and we'll talk to you soon.
Merry Xmas to the rest of us. Festivals.
Indeed.
Okay.